All right, this is a very special, shortened episode of Inappropriate, Earl. We got like 8 ham and eggers in my house right now. We're going to do a UFC 172 recap, talk about Donald Sterling's racism and homosexuality in the world of lacrosse. To my right, we got the great Troy Conrad. Jesus, how about putting the mic by his mouth, Gabe?
Thank you. I have the mic now.
We got, I mean, Jesus, this is a real low-brow operation. Gabriel Killian, who just lost $36 on the UFC parlays.
Respect.
Jeff Amaral.
Hello.
Mr. Edwards.
How's it going?
And the great Jason Tebow.
Suck it, suck it, suck it.
So you can tell this podcast is going to be real short. We got guys not talking into the mic, guys putting suck it into the mic. So let's get to, first of all, let's get to the Donald Sterling stuff real fast. My thoughts are, how does any black player or black coach go to work for this guy tomorrow? But I do see his point. I would be nervous if Magic Johnson was in a picture with my girlfriend.
I mean,
Tebow?
as a Clippers fan, this is always who this guy's been. And she is just striking while the iron's hot. I mean, she's just another one of these fucking dumb cunts. Just trying to, she doesn't get her way. She goes, cool, hello, TMZ. I mean, that's what it is, Earl. That's all it is. I mean, Sterling's always been a prick. He's always been a dick.
I would say, as the only black person here, that the way that you do this is just, they don't ever see this guy. They never see this guy. They come in, they hang out, it's them making money, the coach, the other coaches, everyone's black. It's just like a figment up in the air. They don't give a shit. No one gives a shit.
Jeff, your thoughts?
I think you would have to have some sort of, if I ever see you in a bar, me and my pack are going to destroy you. At least that's the kind of... My pack, and I guess the
yeah, but you're white.
My crew, like how do you let that guy walk into a bar, order a drink, and walk out?
Well, he probably owns the bar.
Yeah, exactly. You never see this guy. Yeah, he's drinking alone. Thank you. Yeah, this guy, he's not around.
I know Conrad's frothing at the bit.
I think you guys are missing some of the point because if you have to look at it from a Hollywood point of view. You get a reality show going with that woman, with Mel Gibson's ex-fiance, and Alec Baldwin's daughter.
Right.
And all they do is it's called entrapment. And they call it, and by the way, I don't know anything about this story, but apparently it sounds like somebody was trying to get the guy to say stuff. I don't know.
No, she doesn't seem like that type.
Oh, okay. She seems straight up. This all happened organically. I say and they record calls of people and they play it on the show, and it's like a competition between the 3 girls who can get the best. Most money.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you're old and you're white level. And you have money, black people expect for you to be awful.
Absolutely.
There's no surprise about some black guy, especially if he's dating some fucking hot Blasian model. Everyone's just like, yeah, of course that guy's like Ebenezer Scrooge. Like, of course he's a fucking dipshit.
But even if you get rid of him, he's a billionaire. He doesn't care. He just makes another $1 billion when he has to sell the team.
But it's like, Earl, does it? Well, one, that's a great point to bring up because you could see a lot of pressure for the NBA to make him sell this team.
Gabe, shut up.
He could get weaseled out of that. But number 2, as a recruiting situation, so to speak, does this make other people free agents from now on to be like, I don't want to go to play with that guy. He's an obvious exposed racist.
But I mean, yeah, he's been known when he's a landlord. He owns who knows how many buildings, and he said black people smell like vermin and attract rodents, which I'm not necessarily disagreeing with. No, I'm just kidding.
You have to do a rat check when you leave.
Rat, my favorite band, by the way. So I'm going to start having black people at my house so Rat shows up.
I don't think that's how that works.
It works every time.
But that was years ago.
It works every time.
I mean, he's been a known racist for 10 years.
Yeah, but now his ghetto pass is officially gone. You know, if you've got everything, what do you get the man who's got everything?
12 black people who can play basketball.
That's so fucked up.
Gabe, shut up.
I don't give two fucks about this, man.
Gabriel Killian's here. He didn't do well in the UFC card tonight. He's very shady about the actual amount he lost.
You're down 725. True or false?
More than that, probably.
Yeah, but how could you be down that much when the first fight you only had $23 on?
What are you talking about?
All right, let's get back to everyone else. We just lost the 4 viewers we had when we let Gabe speak.
I will say this: a fantastic card.
I thought the last 2 cards have been good.
This one was wonderfully good. A lot of people hate a card. It's like you got 5 fights, you paid $65 for, and it's 5 decisions.
You paid.
I actually have not paid for a fight in 15 years.
I'm just kidding.
But I'm just saying, we had fights, a flying knee right out the gate.
Yeah.
You had someone refuse to tap right after that and just go to sleep in the middle of the octagon.
We did the foot tap.
It was, dude, great. Then you had another choke out. I mean, it was great. We had 2 decisions. 2 decisions, right, out of 5 fights?
Yep.
Yeah, the last 2 fights were the only decisions.
Okay.
Great. Oh, now he speaks.
Now he's talking. You don't care about racism and an out of control.
That's because there's no Armenians in the NBA.
Well, I do. I implore it.
No one gives a shit about the Clippers thing. No one gives a shit. Anyone who gives a shit is white. No one fucking cares. Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Everyone's
fuck
like,
Donald
What's surprising
Sterling.
is that everyone is surprised by that news. I would bet 80% of the
course you would bet.
NBA team owners are like that, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. I think he's got more money than all of them, except for maybe Cuban.
Yeah. All
And
these
it
kids
just-
went through the NCAA system, which means that they know.
They know what it's like to
Yeah, yeah, they know. I mean, yeah.
But I mean,
that's
Sterling-
basically slavery, the college basketball system.
But Sterling is loaded beyond loaded. I mean, he's got, I think I was telling you guys, the most expensive office building in Beverly Hills. I think it's on Rodeo and Wilshire. It's sat vacant for 10 years. He could make literally probably a few million a month, which is nothing to him. And he's just, fuck it. Just have an empty building.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Though.
That building by Pink
right?
Dot
We've all been there, right?
is his building too, Sterling Plaza.
Do
But
you think he's not? My
Dude.
question is, do you think he doesn't care about legacy in this matter?
if he cared about legacy, he would have moved the Clippers to the Pond, where they would have been the sole tenant. I mean, how many owners? Yeah, I'll play in the same building as the Lakers.
I just want to say, I'm super impressed by that guillotine.
Sterling put a guillotine on a black guy?
The mount guillotine.
Yes, that was.
Yeah. That might actually be my favorite
Joe
move of the night.
This was a great card, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think they have too many cards. Imagine how good this card would have been if you had the 2 good fights from last week's card on this card. But they employ 500 fighters.
Yeah, they gotta
Literally.
keep them coming.
You got to keep these guys. I mean, bring back Strikeforce and Affliction and Elite XC with Seth Petroselli and Kimbo as the main event.
Bring the slam ball guys in. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
One FC next week.
Yeah. Who's on that card?
Tank Abbott. I don't even know.
Gary Goodridge and Bob Sapp in a spelling bee.
I'd pay a lot to see that, actually.
Gary Goodridge, great legendary fighter, but is suffering from dementia now, which really, I can't wait to see some of these guys in 10 years. I mean, that guy Maldonado, what is his brain? I mean, he's going to be like Mushmouth from Fat Albert.
Right.
I mean, it's really, you think the concussions in football and hockey are bad. Wait till you get like some of
It's
the...
still not nearly as bad as boxing. Like boxing is just like a sustained version of the worst things that could happen to you in the UFC.
Here we got something good about the sport right now. You got John Jones, Teixeira walking down the hallway. They're both limping. They're both beat up. Jones has a belt on, but they hug each other and say, "Hey, man, great fight."
I mean, I don't know who beats Jones, man. I think he won't do well at heavyweight, and I know it's crazy because.
But we're 2 years away from that.
Yeah,
in
but,
my opinion.
He might manhandle Teixeira, but he ain't going to do that to Verdum or.
Can we get
Cormier
takes as we look at it
fight.
right now? Can we get takes on Rogan being forced to wear a sport coat?
I mean, he's got that Vince McMahon look to him. He's so fucking big.
He's a big dude, and he looks like I said earlier when we were watching it. He looks like a 12-year-old that's on his way to a wedding and just wants to rip it off and throw it in the yard and go climb a tree or something.
Well, send him to Barry Sobel's house.
I think this guy speaks to what you're saying before. Is like in a couple years, this is just gonna keep being super popular, and soon we're gonna have to deal with these guys who are gonna be, having to take the roles of being the sports announcers or whatever, but they're not gonna be able to complete a sentence. We're gonna have a bunch of just slurring babies in suits trying to talk about these fights.
Can you imagine Bob Sapp and fucking like Tank Abbott calling in like the Super Bowl weekend card?
Right. Saying the same thing over again.
Yeah, or Cabbage. Bring back Cabbage.
He's swinging hard.
Yeah.
He's swinging real hard.
What arena? What arena? I mean, I saw... What fight did I see? It was Klitschko against Lennox Lewis at Staples Center. And Leon Spinks sits right next to me and looks at me and goes, "Hey, bro, what arena are we in?" And that guy didn't take nearly the punishment that a guy like, say, Maldonado.
What year are we in?
No, he said, "What arena are we in?"
Oh,
that's
shit.
actually worse than what year. I'm sorry.
He doesn't know where he is.
Or you look at some of those Pride guys, the guys who fought in Pride. Yeah. Henderson. I love Dan Henderson. He's my boy.
Mine too. Top 3 favorite fighters, probably.
I don't want to see him fight Cormier.
Just can't take a elbow to the face.
Vanderlei Silva. What's that guy going to be like in 10 years?
Pretty much what he's like right now.
Yeah.
He's going to be coaching some old folks home MMA.
Wait, Gabe's about to say something.
No, I was going to say, what do you think is going to, because now fighters are able to fight at an older age. What's going to be the oldest cutoff? Because now we had Couture at 44, right? As
47.
47.
Wow.
Well, he's 47 now, but champion.
No, he was 47 his last fight, right? He's 50 now.
Yeah.
Well, John Jones, if he stays healthy, he's going to go into like his 80s.
But we got
because they don't look 80.
We got.
What do you mean they? What are you talking about? They. You mean them?
Those people.
You mean those people?
Right, yeah.
Dim-colored people.
But you also got Yoel Romero at 38 years old dominating the middleweight division.
Yeah, I know. He was, to be honest with you, I'd never heard of the guy. And then last week he was like, wow, this guy's the most amazing fighter I've ever seen. Wrestling, striking.
Yeah, when he first came in, all the announcers were talking about was his age and how old he was. Now all they talk about is his explosiveness. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, I guess if you don't take a lot of punishment, you could do it into your 40s, but, I wouldn't. Well, yeah, but you wouldn't take it into your late 20s. But, Fedor's...
Nelson? How old is it?
Roy Nelson?
Yeah,
he's got to be
37,
late 30s. He's taking some punishment.
Yeah.
And who knows what these guys have done in other countries where they don't keep records.
Right, yeah. There's just the fights that aren't on the books. Just like the out and about learning that they love to fight fights.
The
like
commission
13.
sanction.
Like Fedor, what was his final record? Something like 36-3. Who knows what he did in Russia in the early days in those wacky fucking Sambo tournaments where he's like rolling around with Hongman Choi and
right. Fighting in stables on rings of broken glass.
Kevin Randleman getting staph infection. And remember that when Kevin Randleman had this, and there's like a literal hole in his body. So, Tebow, what are you doing? What's going on over there? I see you texting. What gash are you lining up?
Just making sure everything's lined up. Nothing crazy, man. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
Stay away from women. They're all twats.
Oh God, are you ever right, Earl?
I'm telling you. I should, man.
Now
I've been
it
through.
It should be called Just Don't by Earl Skagel.
Yeah. What not to do with these L.A. gold digging twats? Always looking for the upgrade.
That was a New York Times bestseller.
I should have it because I'd keep it real.
Yeah.
You do?
Definitely do.
You do. You definitely do. You
I
definitely do.
told all these guys up at the store about this one comic. I said, "This is how you ask a girl out." They didn't take my advice, so another guy swooped in.
Who was? Well, give me initials.
But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You gotta be aggressive with these cunts.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Come right at eye contact.
Yeah, you gotta be. You can't meekly go, "Hi, would you like to go out?" You gotta say, "Let's go out."
Here's what's up. We're doing this. Be cool. Keep your mouth shut. Here's what's up.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend $30 at Kitchen 24 on you, and we're gonna fuck.
Oh man.
And you have no say so in that.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Isn't that rape?" And you're like, "I said, shut the fuck up."
You can't rape the willing.
You can't rape the willing. I think we go after the Henderson. I think after Henderson, Cormier. I think if Cormier wins that, we could be staring on the barrels of Jones Cormier.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And I think that's a really exciting fight.
I think
Gustafson. He's just got to get past.
Yeah.
You think he got promised the winner of the Teixeira Jones?
Yeah, I think
he
was
deserves
promised.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially with that decimation of Jimmy Manuel, taking him down within 15 seconds and just
toying with him too. I mean,
you're not gonna win.
I got the feeling he could have finished that fight a little earlier, but he's like, "All right, you guys don't think I can hang with this guy in his own home town? Well, I'm gonna just drag it out."
I feel like the fact that he just got such domination, where Jones just fought hard 5 rounds, is gonna play into.
But I mean, to be fair, Jones wasn't hurt. Jones looked great.
Yeah.
His stamina was great. His chin looked great. I think he really proved that he can fucking. He's like a brick wall, and he can take it. I think this next fight's gonna be amazing. Yeah. Gustafson and Jones is gonna be a great fight.
By the way, this fight was ruled by the Troy Conrad scoring system.
I had. Who
did you have in this fight?
I had Teixeira winning every round in that fight and then that's going back and watching the replay as well.
If you haven't watched the UFC card with Conrad, I really employ. How can they find you on Twitter? Give out your Twitter handle.
It's Troy Conrad, and my scoring is different than
at Glasses Off on Twitter. That's his at Glasses Off.
Are you just at Troy Conrad?
Yeah, it's just at Troy Conrad.
It seems like there'd be a lot of
Yeah, it was really crazy watching the fight with Troy was like watching a political event with Fox News, in in the room with you. He was like, "Wow, I can't believe you can see things so differently."
First of all,
than how they're going.
I don't count elbow strikes as strikes. I count them as points
for
for every move they land on. I have my own method.
Have you ever gotten hit
but
with an
once you
elbow
know the method that I score, then you go, "Oh, that makes sense that he won."
Right. Yes.
But I love how oh my god, they should get rid of foot stomps, but spinning kicks to the stomach or
The only thing I don't like is foot stomps.
That doesn't count.
Look, foot stomps don't take any skill to do. Anybody that's never had training or even ever fought before can do a foot stomp effectively and break someone's toes and smash their. That's an awful cheap shot. Nothing else.
We're gonna start seeing knockouts. We're gonna start seeing foot stomp knockouts. Mark my words.
I don't even think they score foot stomps. They're like, "Oh wow, that round's even," but that one foot stomp.
I had this fight as Teixeira by foot stomp.
Well, a lot of people did say if Gustafson would have had one more foot stomp, he would have won.
Exactly.
I can't disagree with that.
This guy, specialties, he's great at it. He's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and a foot stomp specialist.
What if in the next card?
3 first-round finishes with the foot stomp.
From Detroit, Michigan.
Have you seen this guy punch a butt?
Fighter.
He punches a butt like crazy.
He's like a reaction to a foot stomp. Ow!
No, but I think that would be a great, a great contradiction to Jones's look-see-do. Another guy steps in and this man is a flip-flop foot stomp fighter.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's like when Tank Abbott would fight. They would say because he had no skills, he was a pit fighter. It's like, what the fuck?
What does that even mean?
Does he fight on Robert Davi's cheekbone?
Seems like it would involve an alligator for some reason. Yeah.
Fighting in concert pits.
Style of under a bridge.
Gabe, you gotta talk loud, dude. You gotta talk loud into the mic.
All right. I'm scoring.
Troy,
This is a win for Gabe.
Troy, take that mic out of his hand, man. I mean,
I'll hold it.
A mic in his hand is about as
Gabe's
good.
the foot stomper of podcasters.
Dave's a silent stomper.
You know what? Having Gabe on a podcast is great because it was pregnant pauses. That's what you want.
Which are 10 minutes.
Before he speaks, he's thinking about how much money he lost.
Yeah, and then before he speaks, he also tilts the mic in the opposite direction of his mouth. Now, what's the next card coming up? There's so many goddamn cards.
First of all, I just saw that May 31st, Junior Dos Santos is fighting Stipe Miocic.
That's a good fight. I mean, Miocic, great boxer, good chin, but Dos Santos he's not so bad boxing.
Dos Santos should take that, yeah.
He should. He's more well-rounded.
He's going to win in the third round by foot stomp.
Right.
That's a good
And
position.
Czech Congo's going to do the dick stomp. Have you seen the size of that guy's dick? Jesus.
Yeah. He's in Bellator.
He's in Bellator.
He just lost a 5-round fight in Bellator.
Bellator's got some decent heavyweights. I mean, I don't know how good these guys will do in the UFC, but they look good against each other.
Bellator is still keeping the fat men with a job. I like that. I really like that.
Their Bellator heavyweight champ has a win over Fedor in Sambo.
I mean, that's like giving Fedor credit for beating Jeff Monson, who was limping to the octagon before the fight. I don't think I've ever seen
Jeff Monson.
Jeff Monson, they were giving Fedor some tomato cans just to
Pedro Rizzo.
Yeah.
And
just to get back in the game, and some Asian guy, so.
But then his dad died and he retired.
I just think the writing was on the wall, which is too bad that people remember Fedor for getting killed against Bigfoot and Hendo. I mean, there's no shame in getting knocked out by Henderson.
No, especially when you're an old man. That's the
well, he's not that old, though. He's really only in his mid-30s. Fight years, he's probably 400.
Yeah, I mean.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So
we're seeing these older guys starting to really take it into and pull it out.
Pull it out.
And we're starting to see it.
Oh,
dude, you didn't get laid anytime soon. What are you talking about?
just pulled it out so you move a little closer.
Yeah. All right. Great way to bring the podcast to a screeching halt, talking about your dick. All right, so we got. What's the next card coming up, guys? Like I said, it's gonna be a real short podcast.
Two Saturdays from now, it's gonna be
Finally,
Matt
you add
Brown
something.
and Eric Silva.
And is that like a Fox card? Fight Pass?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of fucked up, though, how they made Gustafsson fight on a Fight Pass card.
Yeah.
You just had the greatest fight in this company's history, arguably. You're going to fight some guy no one knows. And it was no win for him.
Yeah, people are going to be watching at 3 in the morning on their computer, so I'm excited for that.
Well, I just did the week free trial, and then...
Oh, you did the... No, I like that because what they're trying to do, it's a brilliant move on Dana White's part. Having a big, good quality fight like that gives a little extra respect to the Fight Pass.
Yeah, they're trying to ride his momentum off that fight into their new platform. But to him, it's got to feel like a slap in the face. It's like, hey, man, this is meaningless.
But he's taking one for the team because that is a brilliant, that is a mass pay-per-view model that he's got.
But they rushed it because the WWE beat them to the punch with their basically Fight Pass.
They had the idea first, though, didn't they?
By the way, big shout out to Josh Martin for giving me his password to the WWE
password
pass.
The password with
so I could watch a tribute to the Warrior. This podcast
with basically
is being
the 3 S's and 4 C's
is being dedicated to Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior, who shocking pro wrestler.
Anybody wants to use?
We have a moment of silence. Gabe, start talking.
Speaking of Josh Martin, there's a guy who made his UFC debut a few days ago. Alex White. He talks just like Josh. He has a speech impediment.
Oh, really?
Specialty move is a foot stomp.
Talks just like that, Alex White.
But I'll give Josh Martin this, and to have a speech impediment, and not only do comedy is ballsy, but to do it at the Comedy Store, where it's like the bar in Star Wars.
It's a perfect storm, Earl.
But I mean, the animals that are up there. So I mean, that guy has a lot of. And he did the Comedy Store boxing match. Again, well, granted, he was fighting. He did. He killed Boone, and me and Tebow were in Boone's corner.
I feel like Boone won that fight.
Boone just gassed out. He was like over him. He had a great.
Was he actually
I feel
boxing?
Like the problem with Boone.
Were you there?
Yeah, no. I just feel like if you'd taken the gloves off, there's too many rules in boxing for Boone. If it had been like in the street, Josh Martin goes down, Boone goes for the eyes. Like this is like street judo.
Boone could have left on him.
Boone could have bled on him
Yeah,
and
Boone
then
could have
given.
taken his back and you know.
Stank at him.
But Boone never smells though. That's the crazy. His breath sometimes is a little dank.
Right.
We're talking about a homeless comic at the Comedy Store for you guys listening, and he basically gets by stealing things and selling them at a very good price at $1, no matter what. I mean, iPods,
matter what.
MacBooks,
Yeah.
T-shirts. I've got him to steal me several wristbands. I collect wristbands.
He's like Robin Hood if Robin Hood didn't know what his shit was worth.
Yeah, and had AIDS.
And had AIDS.
And might have the worst complexion outside of Edward James Olmos. I mean, just
Yeah, it's real sanded down.
yeah. I mean,
complexion.
yeah. I mean, it looks like a pothole or two or five. But a great guy though. Always asking. I mean, his whole face looks like Seal's cheekbone.
Pretty much.
All right, back to the UFC though. I mean, this is just a fun podcast. I'm sorry, there's only 3 mics, and I got to get some more mics, and I'm trying to get the setup right here.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. Thanks, Earl. This is great being on this.
No, you guys, why don't we all give out our Twitter addresses? I do get a fair amount of people listening to this, so starting it from Tebow.
At the Teeb, and listen
Spell
to
it, because some of my listeners.
TheTeeb, and check out Punch Drunk on iTunes. That's me and Ari Shafir and Sam Tripoli's podcast. So suck it.
Great podcast, Punch Drunk, and
Always on it.
they always have celebrity callers, and then it's Tuesday afternoons, is it? From 2 to 4.
Noon to 2.
Noon to 2.
So
The great Mr. Edwards.
Yes, I'm Christopher Edwards. You can find me on Twitter at Street Credwards. Street like a street. CREDWARDS. Street Credwards. Or check me out at thepaintingshow.com, which is a cool new show that's coming out with me and this guy.
What's it about?
It's
Can you say it?
Well, I'll let Jeff talk.
The website has a promo video that it kind of explains it. It's kind of like a art psychology show done by 2 guys who don't know shit about art or psychology, so it's pretty fun.
Cool. And where can they find you on Twitter?
I'm actually not on Twitter, but
What are you, David Arquette? You don't believe in this? David, how can I plug this podcast? I was so excited to get him on. He's like, I'm not on.
Sorry, if I ever do get on Twitter and get 100,000 views, yeah.
All right, DonaldSterling.net. Please don't give Gabe 2 mics. He can't operate one. Let's make it a press conference for Gabe.
Gabriel Killian at Gabriel Killian on Twitter. You could check out my MMA articles at MMAoddsbreaker.com.
And your last name, spell it just because.
Killian.
That was, by the way, Killian was Richard Dawson's name in Running Man. All right, Gabe, give Conrad the mic. There's nothing like dead air on a fucking podcast.
Thanks, I had fun. My Twitter's Troy Conrad. And also follow Setlist Show on Twitter. Check out Setlist, which is really the mixed martial arts of stand-up. It's completely improvised stand-up that is very challenging and requires every tool you've ever imagined in your career to be used during the show. And you can also follow me at footstompmaster.com.
Yeah, and please go to the Troy Conrad MMA scoring system.net if you really want to know how to judge fights. And he gave the Larry Holmes. This just in breaking news. Troy Conrad just scored the Larry Holmes Tex Cobb fight, 15 rounds to 0 for Tex Cobb.
And by the way, I had I had all of the fights in the main card predicted correctly.
You're great at predicting fights like before they happen.
Yeah, but
just
like,
before they happen.
As they're happening.
Yes, but I score them wrong later.
Teixeira would miss by literally 4 inches, and you're like, oh my God, Jones hurt. He got him with that one. I'm telling you.
Not true.
He really was.
I think that
Oh my God, he's hurt.
It rocked him. It rocked him.
you're-
He's scared now.
You're underestimating.
Jones is like dancing.
Yeah,
he's scared. He's scared.
You guys
now.
know nothing about Aikido, do you?
Right. You and Rogan should be the new. I would love to see you and Rogan be the new broadcasting team. He's hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt. He's scared. He walked him.
The round hasn't even started
Right.
yet, Troy.
They're not even in the octagon yet. So we'll do this after each fight card. We got some ones coming up. I'm sure Rousey's fighting. She's fighting Alexis Davis, right? Isn't that coming up?
July 5th.
Okay, so we got a while before that.
Can I make a prediction, like a 2-year advanced prediction, that the first person to beat Ronda Rousey will be Julia Pena?
Never happening. Especially because she's really a 125 pounder, and she's fighting at 135 because there's no 125 pound
She
division.
gets pregnant in 2016.
By Fallon Fox.
And no one has a chance against Ronda. I bet she's gonna retire undefeated.
You think you don't think Holly Holmes got a chance?
Not even close.
See, I think she might, because Rousey, these last few fights, just walks right into her opponent. And with someone like Holm who could, throw some bombs.
She had her arm broken in the first round of her last fight and still made the other girl look like an amateur.
This Holmes girl.
Yeah, Holly
Yeah,
Holm.
but she's not going to keep the fight standing up.
I don't know. Rousey's got a loss coming. She's got a loss coming. They just
I don't think so.
need to
man.
stop throwing Misha Tate at her.
But I mean, there's I don't know who else outside of Cyborg.
Right.
McMahon is the only one who has the best chance to get against her, and we saw how that went.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anyone beating her other than Cyborg, or maybe Holm if she walked into one of the. I mean, she just is so confident now, and I don't blame her. Why not walk right into your opponent? And fuck it, I'll just. But,
Her striking is much improved now.
No, I mean, she's almost like Verdum in the sense that Verdum the last few years, he's a shitty striker. He just relied, and now he's like at heavyweight anyway. I don't, Velasquez I think would gas
All
him
the
out.
skills are like coming to fruition.
Why do you think
Like,
Pena
so
can beat her?
Because she's a hard driving. She does not gas out. She has incredible energy. She has great technique. She's very hard to take down. She's really talented.
Yeah, but you also scored Pearl Harbor for the U.S. Right? Any final thoughts on anything? All right, this has been a very kind of.
I would just like to say that Donald Sterling, a lot of these things that are coming at him, it's I don't agree with him. He's a decent guy.
What do you
He's a
mean?
good American.
What do you mean? You told me everything he said was right.
I'm totally on this side too.
I'm just saying, go Clippers. Fuck the Heat. Fuck the Spurs. Fuck the Rockets. Definitely fuck the Lakers. And Donald
Lakers are
Sterling
fucked.
is a good American. That's
We're
what I'm
bringing-
saying.
Fuck the Supersonics.
Go Bulls.
Hey, this is a hockey
Fuck the
town.
Washington
We've
Bullets
got
suck.
the city's last championship. Hopefully the Kings are beating.
Ducks. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks. Quack, quack. Gabe, you
Yo,
got...
yo!
All right, Gabe. Thanks for Troy. You got one more. Let's end it with Troy over Gabe, please.
Okay, yeah, no, I just want to say if you want
Troy.
to tweet us, use the Twitter hashtag I'm with Sterling. And I really thanks again, really, Earl, and it was really nice but a lot of people don't know this, during the final fight, the John Jones fight tonight. He halfway through the third round, he popped in an old 2003 set of him at the last.
No, I think I was headlining the Hot Word Cafe in Valley Village.
headlining.
I mean,
Just a quick 3 minutes.
Headlining
Just a
at the
good 3
Ha-Ha.
minutes,
I mean, I've got more shitty gigs on my resume than the current version of Great White.
Post station fire.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they literally killed 90% of their fan base. Because and first of all, if the Great White concert at the station in Rhode Island would have been held at Coconut Teaser, I would have been there. So this podcast wouldn't even be going on. But like when the fire first started at that nightclub, because if you ever see the video for that, the YouTube video, it's not funny, but the camera initially pans around and there's this old guy who clearly doesn't fit he probably just went there on a Saturday night. And he was like, God, this is great. Wow, these special effects this is fucking amazing. But should the guy next to me, should his head be on fire?
That smell is a little too much.
Yeah, wow. The shows nowadays have gotten so interactive.
And then Great White got into a fight with their singer, so there were two Great Whites touring. Like, these 80s metal bands are out of their minds.
Gallagher. It's like Gallagher.
Yeah, there was 2 Gallaghers. By the way, you can see Gallagher at the Comedy Store patio just rambling around. Yeah. It's so fucking sad to see these people from the 80s. Like Gallagher, I remember seeing at the Wiltern, sold out. I mean, beyond sold out, standing room only. And now he's just like asking Aligny to buy him a soda pop or something. No, I'm serious. Like, you know, Dice is really the only one from that era who's still a valuable commodity in the comedy world. He's almost won an Oscar this year for his Woody Allen.
Allen movies.
I mean, you know, he's like the only one.
He was on Arsenio Hall drumming.
Yeah, I mean, I love Dice. You know,
Dice is great.
It's great in Crime Story, but that was when he was Andrew Silverstein. What I recommend, if you really want to Dice Clay good, look into, and it could give all of us hope how far he's come. I remember him in the great Judd Nelson movie, Making the Grade, where he was the doorman. But I have a weird IMDb credit of like weird.
That's some deep knowledge. Yeah, you pulling it.
I have the deepest knowledge of character. He's not a character actor, but I love. That's what's great about living in LA. You can see a character actor. Like I gave the fist bump the other day when I was walking my dog to the bad guy from Delta Force. Well, I mean, where else can you do that?
Yeah. That's a humble brag if I've ever heard one. No big deal.
Gabe, you got anything? Never mind. All right, this has been a UFC 172 Donald Sterling special recap. Inappropriate Earl. We're on SoundCloud, and for you Steve Jobs nut swingers, we're still on iTunes. So we're going to be on Stitcher when I figure out how to do it. And I'm just at Earl Skakel on Twitter, Facebook, and my new social networking site that Donald Sterling's helping me fund, Black Facebook. So far, we've got Mark Furman, Michael Richards, and couple bots Mr. Sterling made for me. So Will Gallagher's on it, and a couple talent coordinators. And guys, remember, as always, stay white.